of where Anthropic CEO talking about, you know, that part with which jobs are going to be replaced by AI the most. Did you see this thing? This is a chart that was going viral all over X. It's very important to see this and scary at the same time. Parents, if you haven't seen this, talk about this with your kids.
Buddy, it's your boy Big Bleu. This channel where we find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. So this is gonna be interesting. This is from Valuetainment. I've seen these guys a couple times in various talk shows, doing various interviews. They talk about investments. They talk about the economy. They talk about politics and all that stuff. And this one is actually going to be interesting because the topic at hand is in regards to AI and jobs. And with the last couple of videos that I literally just did, this video literally popped up on my feed and I didn't even know what it was. I just saw Meta and I figured he's talking about the layoffs, and sure enough, that's the conversation that was going. And these guys normally give great insight. So let's go ahead, jump into these videos, see exactly what it is that they're talking about, and learn, because you don't want to be left behind, guys. I said in my previous videos, when it comes to learning, when it comes to the advancement of technology and just the way that the world moves forward, you want to move forward with the world and not fall behind, because then you get caught in those situations where you're stuck. You can't even afford to leave your job, or you do get let go from your job, and then now you have to scale back because now you no longer meet the requirements that all these other companies are looking for. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and just check out what's going on. Let's check out what's going on.
With the 7,000 layoffs because of AI that took place, the one thing that people are missing is anytime something like this happens, automatically everything is Mark Zuckerberg, addresses staff ahead of mass AI layoffs. And by the way, was this leaked intentionally or was this accidental?
I don't know, but it was on a all-hands meeting on the April 30th where he just told them that, the training AI on them ahead of mass layoffs.
Okay, so this is a conversation that's being taken place. Mass layoffs are around the corner. Wednesday, they did the layoffs 2 days ago. They asked everybody to stay home for no one to come to the office. Bunch of employees who were worried about getting fired were taking batteries, chargers. They were taking whatever the supplies that Facebook allows you to have. And remember, you know what the average employee makes at Facebook? I don't know if you know the average salary. The average employee at Meta makes between $350,000 to $380,000 a year. So it's not like they're getting rid of $62,000. There you go, $379,000 a year.
What? Average? What? On a Zach Rowland location. Okay, so this makes sense. Okay, this makes sense on the East Coast, maybe in the South. This makes sense on the West. Honestly, that still seems like a lot. That's over half. But my goodness, that's average. Jeez.
Is what the average salary, the median total salary is at Meta. So when they're letting go of people, 7,000 of them, it's a lot of money. But if you want to play this clip, Vinny, I'm going to come to you first, and Tom, I'm coming to you right afterwards. Go ahead.
In other news, I know layoffs are top of mind, but there were also some updates this week around, and a question around employee device tracking. So can you share more on employee device tracking? I think the way that it was announced left folks with some... Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about what we're doing. Like Alex just said, going into what makes these AI models great, right? There's basically a few key ingredients. There's getting the research and the architecture good. There's having good infrastructure, which is both the quantity of compute, but like as important, if not more, is also just like how efficiently can you use it? How reliable is it? What is the quality of that?
It's a 6-minute clip.
And then
I think 44. I had 44 seconds, Robbie. I don't know. I think he already said the AI part.
Which he says what?
He said the AI models learn from watching really smart people do things. That's the goal of what this leaked audio was about.
So meaning you keep coding so the AI models are watching what you're doing so they get smarter.
Yes.
Okay. So and that's here, by the way. And all the back in the days, Luke Gorman was showing this of where Anthropic CEO talking about, that part with which jobs are going to be replaced by AI the most. Did you see this thing? This is a chart that was going viral all over X. It's very important to see this and scary at the same time. Parents, if you haven't seen this, talk about this with your kids. Right there, Rob. This is what he's saying the risk is at. Reddit.
Can y'all see this? Hold on. Okay. Interesting. Home health. I don't know what that is. Registered nurse. Okay. 2 out of 10. I guess 2 out of 10 chance. Yeah, the higher the chance, the deeper it is. Yeah, man. It's oh boy. And the worst part is based off of the things that AI can do. It's at its early stages right now because companies are starting to, get things together, understanding how the AI tools are used. The thing is, AI learns quicker, faster than anybody. You give it the information, it's going to take in the information in a matter of seconds. And then after that, it's just a matter of repetitions of routines and understanding routines and getting that over and over and over. And as time progresses, that's when it's like, all right, I got it. I don't need you anymore. So let's see, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Secretaries and admin, customer service. They're already working on that. General office clerks. Yep. Software developers. These software developers that are utilizing AI to make code and be more efficient are essentially teaching the AI to make the code and be more efficient while understanding the specific questionings that and their prompts in order to get the results that they want. They're learning this as they go. That's the problem that I have with AI. They're learning everything as they go. It's not just a matter of you're putting in information and then that's it. They're only taking in the information that you're putting in. They're only taking the prompts that you're putting in. They're looking at your prompts and saying how you ask these questions and also taking that into consideration as well. So that they can get to a point where they essentially do not need software developers anymore. They don't need marketing researchers anymore. They don't need accountants anymore. They won't need lawyers anymore. They'll get to a point where they'll be able to dish out whatever law is needed based off of the circumstances and based off of the situations to bring up all the court cases that's related in the past and give their teachers. There was a situation in Chicago where they have a school that's specific, that's AI driven specific. No teachers, just monitors to make sure that the students are staying on track or whatever the case may be. The school is fully AI driven or computer driven, whichever you want to call it. Like this is what's happening. Cashiers. I got a story about that as well. Wholesale managers, computer, I'm guessing computer support. The only jobs that are not being taken are these hand jobs, these jobs that really require face-to-face interactions and labor manual jobs. These are the jobs where you actually register nurses. I mean, that could be taken over, but they may not want to put too much trust in somebody's life. Man, guys, this is crazy.
It's risky. Green is fine. Look at red. General office clerks. Okay. Secretaries and admin. Makes sense. Customer service representatives. Totally makes sense. Bookkeeping on the bottom left. But Rennie, go to the fourth chart. Bottom. Do you see software developers?
Yes.
They're going to lose their jobs.
Goodness.
100%.
Okay.
Like kids go to school to become software developers. Guess what? No one cares. Cashiers gone. Heavy and tractor operators. Accountants. Management. Project management, purchasing, human resources, market research, lawyers. AI is going to replace lawyers. Now look at the green, Vinny. Look what the jobs are green. Construction laborers, janitors, childcare, okay? Preschool teachers, barbers, Drew and Michael Rapatoni are safe. Nurses, home health care, hand laborers, retail sales workers, delivery truck drivers, farmers, cooks, food and beverage sales, waiters and waitresses, electricians, plumbers, they're safe. This is changing. This is real. And so Facebook, Zuck is saying this to his engineers on the back end, Tom. I think it's very important to know that.
Oh my. Let me change my scene back. This is very interesting. I didn't think about this. So what I'm seeing is essentially going back. You know how the Democrats, they keep talking about, they're going to take us back. They're going to take us back. This is what I believe is taking us back. That's a time when I was alive, of course. But you guys may have recalled a situation where, you know, there wasn't as many people as there is now in America. And of course, you had these jobs that were available, but not too many jobs. There weren't too many high positions. There may have been one manager, one lead, maybe an analyst, if analyst was a thing. But there were a lot of regular working individuals. Well, I say that, but honestly, I didn't live back then, so I don't know how many people there was. But I would think that back in the day, if you were going to get an education, there really wasn't much people as much now that's getting an engineering degree, that's getting a computer degree, even let alone to even understand what computers is, electrical engineering degree and stuff like that. Compared to now, there's a lot of people that's going in and getting those degrees. So now it's getting to a point where AI is just becoming so self-sufficient to where we're going back to that time where they don't need a lot of people in these fields. Therefore, everybody can go elsewhere into these lower manual labor type jobs. But then the question is, how are they going to survive in this economy with those type of jobs? Unless there's just going to be a complete reset, which would be terrible. God, that would be terrible. But honestly, I don't see how else this would really work. AI is literally decreasing the amount of jobs that's needed. So you only need a few people in these roles. During COVID, prime example, during COVID, there was a mass hiring for developers, software engineers, and, you know, all the technology fields and stuff like that. There was a mass hiring. And I was thinking about this, honestly, during COVID. I'm like, there's so many people that they're hiring during this time period. Once things starts to go back to normal, they're not going to need them anymore. I just didn't think it was going to be because of AI. Honestly, to be real, I didn't think it was going to be because of AI, because AI wasn't a thing like that back then. Well, AI was a thing. It just wasn't heavy conversation. Like ChatGPT wasn't a thing during that time period when COVID had started. This was recent, where it's public to this extent. And it's only increasing on how quickly it's learning. This thing is learning at rates that we as humans could never learn this quick. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Zuck knows that you, imagine you're an engineer, you went to school, you're one of the best engineers. I know that you know your job's about to be replaced by this AI software. We both know. So my concern is, I want the best from you. What can I do to get the best from you so you don't get distracted and go to a different place? Tom, can you unpack what Facebook did, what Meta did to these guys that are helping of the AI getting smarter when it comes down to coding?
Exactly. Right now, when Meta hires, by the way, amidst all these layoffs, Meta is still hiring brilliant engineers to come in and work on AI and other projects. So there may be a lot of layoffs. They may have gotten rid of the metaverse. They may have called Reality Labs. They may have done that, and they may be eliminating jobs for AI. But the people that are staying are very well compensated. And it's not like stick around and show AI how to do the coding and then you're out of here. It may be.
That's literally what it was, though. That's maybe I'm misunderstanding. I could be misunderstanding, but last I checked, that was the whole purpose of AI, all these data centers. I mean, granted, for the extra tools and features that they're doing, but from a business perspective, and again, based off my previous video, if you're not caring that much about your workers, you find an easier way to get the job done quicker, efficiently, to where you don't have to pay somebody X amount of dollars and you can then pocket that. Why wouldn't you do it? So I don't understand what that statement is. Somebody please help me understand what he was referring to at that point.
But along the way, you're being paid handsomely to do that job.
There's going to be two hits to the economy. And what does a capitalist society look like when labor isn't as meaningful?
Okay, capitalist society. Okay, here we go. We back on this topic. These are big topics, guys, because this is the future of the world. This is the future of the world. So it's not here to, make everybody buy all the cans and all the toilet paper and stuff like that. You just got to have an idea of what's going on so that you can figure out how you're going to progress. This is important. Which is crazy because I wouldn't have said this literally 3 years ago.
And I think we're headed in that direction. We have to start thinking about this more existentially than literally. the value of money, the way we perceive wealth, the way we perceive taking care of people in society, all has to shift to accommodate for AI. A lot of people are looking at AI and they're saying, don't worry, new jobs will be created to compensate like in the past.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe that. AI is not only doing the physical kind of aspect that used to be compensated for, it is doing the actual thinking. And what do we see most affected here? The highest level of thinking is what's most affected.
Okay.
So meaning I thought AI would come out and it wouldn't change art. It wouldn't change film. It wouldn't. That was the first thing it hit. It is incredible at doing the high level stuff. So once it can break itself down through automation and robotics to do the low level stuff, I think every industry is impacted. And I just don't see how we replace it. I'm terrified of AI. That's my honest opinion on it.
I mean, if we go back to the Zuckerberg story, and I trust me, I understand 100% as a CEO, it's the company and that's what he does. But using your employees for training data specifically for the purpose of replacing them later is pretty freaking cold-hearted. And I get the fact that he's going to pay him, Tom, and do that for the future. But Pat, I think the big...
This is the problem with capitalism. And this is the problem with the corporate lifestyle. It's in order to maintain the business, in order to keep up with competition, in order to remain at the top, these are the type of things that are required, which is why I was never a fan of corporate America. Never a fan of corporate America. To this day, I'm still not a fan of corporate America. And which is why it was important in where I work. I love my job right now because of what I do and the vision and who it is that we help as a company. I am a part of a vision that helps humanity prolong life. So to me, I'm okay with working here, but I would not work for Amazon. I would not work for Meta. I would not work for Google. The vision is just meaningless to me. Their vision doesn't matter to me. So
Respectfully, you just mentioned every company in America.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But training them and saying that they're watching.
Oh,
you,
I'm no defender of Mark Zuckerberg, but when you can say that and that's kind of cold-hearted, you're not just talking about Mark. You're talking about every company that is building an LLM.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Because let me tell you how this works, okay? Whose job is it to make sure your kids, your wife, your family is positioned the right way? Whose job and duty is that?
Husband.
Mine.
Yours.
Yeah.
Whose job is it to make sure if you're an entertainer or a comedian to stay funny? Whose job is it? AI's job or your job?
Your job.
Your job. Whose job is it if you're a model to make sure you don't have belly fat so when pictures are taken you look good and your chin looks flawless? Yours. Whose job is it if you're an actor to make sure you stay sharp, you stay marketable? Your job. So for me, if you have a job anywhere you're working, you can either sit there and say, well, F this company, all they want to do is be able to replace me anyways, and da-da-da-da-da. What a negative place to come from.
Yep.
What a negative place to come from. For me, it's more sit there and say, what can I do to be multifaceted to the company? Mm-hmm. So I got more value that I'm bringing to the company. Because for me, guess what I have? What fear do you think I have? Let's flip it. Can you imagine, like, F everybody you try?
Okay. I see what he's saying, but that's because I've been given the wisdom and the maturity and the patience to be able to understand what he's saying. You say that to a whole bunch of people that's in a tech company, they're not going to understand it. Even though you may want to, they're not going to understand it. They're not even going to want to understand it. Even if what you're saying is fact, they're not going to want to understand it, bro. And this is coming from somebody that's like, I guess at this point now middle class or whatever the case may be, and working in these companies, and you're telling me, oh, just deal with the fact that my job is going to be replaced by AI at one day, and then I just make, the best of my opportunities. Yeah, I could do that because that was already my stance with life to begin with my career to begin with. A lot of people are not thinking like that. So, I mean...
train them and they leave and start their own business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do I have to say? Make the opportunity better. Mm-hmm. Make the environment better. Make the climate better where people work better together. We had a staff meeting the other day. Have you ever seen a staff meeting this big that we had?
200 people.
It was insane. We had 17 new people we onboarded just last week on Monday.
Yeah.
I've never seen this many employees in our company. We're hiring like gangbusters left and right. So I think whatever is going on, companies have to get better. Individual performers have to get better. Managers have to get better and leaders have to get better. If we don't...
What does that have? And again, I'm nowhere near as smart, as intelligent, as witty as he is, as none of those guys at that table is, by absolutely no means. But this is an average individual asking a genuine question. How do you beat something that can literally outthink you and get a task completed 500% times quicker than you, given the amount of time of repetition? How do you beat that? How do you make yourself to a point where, yeah, we need him here regardless of if we have AI or not? What does that even look like? I'm genuinely asking. Because at that point, everybody that's just working at these companies, they're just contractors. They're essentially contractors. They're here at this job, working with this AI stuff, helping build it up for the company. And then when it gets to a point where, okay, the LLM seems to be smart enough and understand what it is that we need, so we don't no longer need you anymore. Isn't that contractors with any project that's going on? They keep you until they don't need you anymore. So it's like, I don't get his point there. An explanation would be nice, but I mean, him talk to me, that'd be craziness.
Do that. Vinny, you are right. Everybody could be replaced.
Okay, so where do we go with all this? Let me just give a story real quick. What happened when I was in school? And again, wisdom, guys, read a proverb a day. Read a chapter of proverb a day. It makes the folly go away, and it helps you see things that you may not have thought of before and make things come to your mind. You're like, I wonder what's going to happen later on with this situation that's going on. Proverbs has done that for me. Maybe it was natural. I don't know. But at the end of the day, guys, read Proverbs a day, keeps the folly away. Gonna be continuing that series soon because I wasn't done yet. But what happened when I was younger? When I was younger, I think it was fall semester. I was in my IT organization at my school, and I was at Georgia Southern, and we went to Atlanta to go visit a company. On the way back, we stopped at Macon, got some food at McDonald's, and then that was my first time. This was 2015. That was my first time seeing a kiosk where people can come in, order their food and stuff like that, and then it's ready for them. And I'm like, whoa, this is real. This is here. This is technology. This is the future. So when I got back to my class the next day, the following day, whatever day it was, my teacher, my professor, who was a CIO of the school, crazy enough that, CIO was a professor in one of my classes, I told him about my experience with the kiosk, just telling him like, yo, this was crazy. He was like, yeah, this is great. This is technology. This is, the direction that the world is going, with a big smile on his face. And then I asked him, what does that mean for the cashier that has no other skills? If McDonald's was like, okay, we no longer need you anymore, we're letting you go. And that smile changed. And he says, this is the unforeseeable future. This is the unforeseeable fate of the future with technology. We can expect that to happen. And here we are. Here we are. And it's crazy. And here we are. It's just going to keep on coming, and it's just going to move quicker and quicker than the Industrial Revolutions. All the other revolutionized time periods in the past, this is going to be the most quickest as far as things changing, things shifting, and it could ultimately be the worst. I don't see a situation where AI is going to help. I see a situation where AI is going to get us like, I don't know, like WALL-E, like iRobot, like honestly, it was just them two, where we have these robots that's just out doing everything for us. Who's gonna work? Who's gonna do the manual labors? How do we get paid? What's the income and currency gonna look like? Are we just not gonna do anything anymore? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Because on one hand, we're talking about AI just taking these jobs and learning everything so that there's less people that needs to do these type of jobs. Then that's going to decrease the workplace already. But then now you have I don't know, Elon maybe, but these other companies that are making robots, AI robots to this day that will be doing manual tasks. That's going to be replacing more manual work jobs. So it's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Why is it that nobody's asking these questions or giving answers to what is it that the human race is going to do once we have AI everywhere? Who knows? Who knows? What I do know is my God is great. And I'm waiting for the day where I meet him and I'm not worried about anything else that's going on this earth. In the meantime, I'm living life as I can, the best that I can, learning as much as I can, and doing what I can to help increase the kingdom, caring for my family and friends, and just enjoying the novelties that we have right now. That's natural and that's not AI generated. And that's what I expect, and that's what I'm hoping for everybody else's mindset that's watching this video and that's growing with fear. This is just an informative of what is happening and just, things to think about and maybe things to consider. So if you've been living your lifestyle where you're just at a stagnant place, honestly, you shouldn't be there in the first place. You should be looking for advancement. You should be looking to better yourself, not just to make more money, but to keep yourself going, keep yourself moving and doing something different. Change is good. With this whole AI thing, I mean, change could be good. I'm just being very skeptical about it. That's all I'm saying. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take it easy.